What up, gang, and welcome back once again to I Like Watches. It's been a while since I've produced one of these videos where I show you guys the new releases on AliExpress, and then you guys let me know in the comments section which of these watches you like, and I'll do my very best to get them in for review. And I'm going to try particularly hard to get this first one in. In fact, I think I'm just going to buy it because it is a 25,000 meter dive watch. Yep, you heard me right. 25,000 meter dive watch. I thought that was a typo when I saw that, but no, it's on the watch dial as well. Look, 25 and then 3 zeros and an M, and you should see the size of this thing. From the top down, I think it actually looks pretty good. It's definitely different, isn't it? And there's, well, just some weird stuff going on. There's a number 10, and then there's huge indices. I suspect the loom is half decent. It looks to be printed on the dial, but it looks quite thick. The bezel looks quite small, but then when you look at it from the side, you can see, well, might just be capable of the 25,000 meter water resistance rating that they've given it. I should buy this one and send it to the hydraulic press channel, shouldn't I? $400 though. Ooh, will you watch the video if I get this one in, guys? Let me know in the comments section. NH35 inside of this as well. I just can't stop looking at the pictures. It actually looks pretty decent. The steel finishing looks really, really nice. Just look at that crystal. Look at the thickness. I think it's 22 millimeters thick. This thing is a monster. I think it's an absolute must, isn't it? I think I'm probably going to order it after I've made this video. Insane. Look at it. Right, let's move on to a more sensible watch. This is another steel dive. It's a Homage watch, as you can tell. I'm sure you're very familiar with this style. I think I've reviewed the original by Doxa, and yeah, this is a Homage watch available in lots of bright colours. Look, yeah, I mean, it's nice enough, isn't it? 200 meters of water resistance though on this occasion. What movement do we have? NH35 down there, look, at the bottom, stainless steel, sapphire crystal, and decent specifications, and at the moment, $116, that seems alright. Next up, we've got a Rudnay. Now, they're a little bit like Escapement Time. They don't produce a lot of new watches every single year. In fact, I can't remember the last time Rudnay released a new watch. And this is a rather interesting looking military watch. Yeah, I quite like the look of this, and been impressed with the watches that I've seen from them in the past. Decent reviews. They've only sold 10 units admittedly, but yeah, let's have a look at the specs. It's not sapphire crystal, 50 meters of water resistance, and it's a quartz. Ooh dear. Ooh, that might be a problem. Next up on the Sujus official store, we've got a sea stern with original on the dial. Doesn't look too original though, does it? It's a strong sort of Bauhaus design. Yeah, it looks quite familiar. Interesting colour dial. There's a few different colours available. Look, hang on a minute, my mouse is playing up. There we go, that's better. Yeah, a sort of duck egg or baby blue dial version. A very light sort of peachy pink colour. And oh, I thought there was a white dial version, but there isn't. But yeah, I mean, I quite like it. Splash of colour underneath the strap, but also with the second hand on that sub dial. Look, $114. An automatic ST1701, so it's got a seagull movement inside. Yeah, they're decent enough. They're the affordable seagull movements. But yeah, I quite like that actually. Next up, we've got a new Addies dive. It is a chronograph available in a couple of different colours. Look, obviously this panda version I think looks nicer. They've sort of scripted the branding on the dial though. I'm not too sure about that. Addies dive sort of scripted. Sapphire crystal though, 200 meters of water resistance. It's a quartz. I suspect it is a VK64, I think it will be. Yes, VK64, look. Awesome. And Addies Dive have released another watch with a very nice looking dial. There's no other colour variations. It is a Captain Willard homage look, and yeah, the dial is quite interesting. Let's see if we can have a closer look. Yeah, it just looks like a sort of wavy ocean print on that dial, doesn't it? Are they going to give us any close-ups? Close-ups of the steel finishing, but what about the dial? That's why we're here. They're not very clear, are they? Anyway, I mean, it's definitely different. Next up, we've got a San Martin, and normally they release about 10 new watches every single month. But on this occasion, there's only 2 to pick from, and I think this is probably the most interesting one. Yeah, they've slowed things right down. So, yeah, NH35 inside of this one. It is the SN0115. Interesting colour dial, a splash of colour with a second-hand look, and that pip at the, or the triangle at the 12 o'clock on the bezel. Insert strong coloured loom in those applied indices and on the hands. Yeah, I'm not sure how I feel about this one. It looks okay. Now, IX and DAO have launched a few new versions of their Engineer, and I was seriously impressed with this watch, although they sort of stumbled a little bit because they didn't offer any smaller links. So getting a good fit with this watch is going to be a little bit of a gamble, and that was the only weakness, to be honest. This watch is finished to an unbelievable level, and they're now offering it with these dials. Look, some really interesting sort of, well, I don't know what that is on the dial. It's, well, it looks to be a sort of mother of pearl dial, doesn't it? But in the pictures, they're showing the same pattern on all the dials, which I don't think is the case. They just look to be sort of coloured mother of pearl dials. And yeah, I've looked through the listing, and the only mention of mother of pearl is in the title, so I guess that's good enough for us, isn't it? Yeah, mother of pearl dials, yeah, interesting. And then they're offering these ones as well. So the original dials on the original watch, the original IX and DAO watch, that is, but with gold accents on the case and on the bracelet, and they're offering it with the green dial and sort of white dial. Cadisen have released this. We don't see too many new releases from Cadisen either, do we? NH35, they tend to use the NH35 almost all the time in every single watch. Yeah, you're familiar with this design. It's not very original, but this is now Cadisen making a watch that looks like this, and it looks alright, doesn't it? $113. You always get decent value for money with Cadisen. The build quality is always pretty good. Yeah, no originality, but yeah, nice looking watch. Right, I'm going to wrap things up with a couple of Parnis watches. We don't see too many Parnis watches reviewed. They're one of the original brands, aren't they? One of the original sort of Chinese brands that started this obsession with super affordable, high-spec Chinese watches. But yeah, for some reason they're, on the whole, ignored by most people. I still like them, although I haven't bought one for ages. I might get one in soon. Because, yeah, it's been too long since I've featured a Parnis, but I like the look of this one, although they've done a pretty bad job of superimposing those dials onto the case. Look, I think that's probably the original picture, and then they've superimposed that dial, and, well, yeah, that dial, I think, yeah, they've not done a great job, have they? But I actually quite like that one. $95 sounds about right for their watches. They usually house Miyota 8000 series movements or NH35s. I think this one has an 8000 series movement inside it. Yeah, so that's going to put a few people off, but actually I quite like the look of this one. And the last watch I'm going to show you today is another very familiar watch, another homage, if you like, of an Omega. And yeah, this is Parnis now doing this one, offering it in lots and lots of different colour versions. Look, yeah, this one looks alright. This might have to be the one I get in. Right, guys, let me know what you think of those 12 watches, and I'll do my very best to get in what you guys consider to be the best ones. I'm very tempted to pick up that 25,000 metre diver. That's crazy, isn't it? I just want to see it. I want to hold it. And yeah, it looks quite nicely finished. It's a bit bonkers. So yeah, might go and order it now. Anyway, alright guys, thanks for watching.